You know that one person you catch on the phone and they only call you to complain or when they need something and they just spew words at you nonstop and it's all about them and it's not about you and you can't even get a word in and then they just say, okay, goodbye, click. I think that's how God sometimes feels when we pray. And if you're anything like me, prayer can fall into 4 categories. Either it's dry and stale like a dried out old bagel, or we say the same things over and over again like a broken record, or we treat God like some giant vending machine in the sky where I put a little something in and get a little something out. Or worse, prayer becomes the most annoying chore or obligation possible, like vacuuming the entire house when it's 9,000 degrees outside. Whatever it is, we're going to stop praying. And once we stop praying, it's like when we stop watering the plant. Our faith dies. So I just wanted to pass along some thoughts and techniques I've picked up along the way that have helped me break out of all these and really helped me take my prayer a little deeper. Now, I'm not going to just give you some fancy definition of prayer because I don't really think you can capture it just with some words. So instead, I'm going to give you a picture. To me, this is prayer. And this will make more sense as we go along, but if I had to put words to it, I would say it's the mutual emptying or pouring out of one heart into another until the 2 hearts become one. And oh, by the way, one of those hearts happens to be God's. Now, there are 3 ingredients necessary in order to make prayer prayer. And if any one of them are missing, your whole prayer is going to fall apart. I remember them as PHT or PHT. Have you ever been alone in a room? Maybe you're waiting for something, and somebody else enters the room. Now, you may not see them, maybe they come in behind you, but you're just aware of the presence of another person in the room. This is the starting point of all prayer, just the awareness of the presence of another person in the room. Or else we're just talking to ourselves in the dark. Hello? The greatest line I've ever heard about prayer, and of course I don't remember who wrote it, was, God hears our hearts, not our words. I'm going to say that again. God hears our hearts, not our words. So can we all please just forget about am I saying the right thing or using the right words and just get down to the core? What's going on in my heart? If we can speak heart, we can speak God's language. And if we flip that around, we have to learn how to listen to God's heart inside my own heart. And not for any words or feelings or signs, but in very subtle and gentle inspirations or movements in my heart, and those aha moments of clarity in my soul. And once we master this very delicate language of heart, that's when we're talking to God. Okay, you really got to bear with me on this one. Remember those old diving suits where the guy in the bottom was completely dependent on the guy in the top, and the guy in the top had to pump all the air down to the guy in the bottom, and if the guy in the bottom ever wanted to come up, he had to tug the rope and just hope and pray that the guy on top would see it and pull him up? Okay, the point is, if you're the guy in the bottom, you have to entrust your entire life into the hands of the guy in the top, even for your very next breath. Now, in a similar but totally different way, we have to 100% have that same radical trust in the guy in the top, even for our very next breath. Now here's where the analogy breaks down, because it's not just some guy in the top we're entrusting our entire lives to. It's the God of the entire universe who loves you and me in a way that, well, we could never possibly comprehend. Listen to these lines. The whole universe before the Lord is a grain of sand, a drop of morning dew. But not one tiny sparrow falls to the ground without God knowing it. And even the hairs on your head are numbered. So don't be afraid. You're worth more than all the sparrows. And yes, I paraphrase. This is who we're in the presence of. This is who I empty my entire heart to. This is who I entrust my next breath to.